What happens when a battle-hardened Marine and a devout nun are stranded alone on a deserted island in the heart of a war, torn between duty, survival, and a growing bond neither of them saw coming? This is not just a story of war, but of quiet yearning, sacrifice, and the thin line between love and faith. The story begins in 1944, amid the fury of World War II. U.S. Marine Corporal Allison drifts alone upon the vast Pacific, a lone survivor of battle, tossed like wreckage by wind and wave. Days blur into one another beneath an endless sky, until, at last, land emerges, the small, remote island of Tuasiva. He approaches the shoreline with caution, heart guarded and knife in hand, fearing the island may already be under Japanese control. Yet after cautiously combing through palm groves and ruins, he finds no trace of human presence. No sentries, no campfires, only silence. He begins to believe the island is abandoned. But in the crumbling shell of a mission church, Allison stumbles upon a startling sight: a lone woman sweeping the floor. Clad in the white habit of a nun, she turns in fright. He cannot believe it. A woman here? Alone? Startled but reassured by his American Army uniform, the woman introduces herself as Sister Angela. Left behind by fellow missionaries who sailed on to Fiji, she survived here alone for days. She permits Allison to rest within the church walls. Later, Allison awakens to the soft murmurs of prayer. He leaps into action, dousing every flame, fearing Japanese scouts might see the smoke. Angela apologizes, unaware of the risk, and offers him food. After their meal, Allison, craving a smoke, asks for a cigarette. She offers instead an old priest's pipe, the only one left behind by Father Phillips, who passed away a few days prior. As they sit under a fading sky, Angela explains how she and Father Phillips arrived just 4 days ago, seeking another missionary, Father Ryan. They had combed nearby islands in vain, and when they returned to their landing point, their ship was gone, stranding them in this forgotten paradise. The next day, Allison leads Angela into the jungle in search of food. Fortune favors them. The island is generous with fresh water, wild fruit, and natural game. While fashioning spears to catch fish, Allison hears the rustle of something large. He follows the sound and discovers a wild boar hiding within a shadowy cave. But his bamboo weapon is no match for the beast. He lets it go, for now. Later, Angela spots a sea turtle drifting offshore. She points it out to Allison, who quickly gathers rope and prepares his raft. He plunges into the sea to pursue it, asking Angela for assistance. He latches onto the turtle, but the creature proves stronger than expected. It drags him beneath the waves, the rope coiled tight around his wrist. Angela cries out in panic as he disappears beneath the surface. For a breathless moment, he vanishes. Then, he breaks the surface, victorious. The turtle is his. That night, as they roast the meat over flame, Allison reflects aloud. With fruit and water in abundance, they could survive here for years, he says, but they shouldn't. They cannot live in hope forever, waiting for rescue. He proposes a daring plan: to build a raft and sail the 300 miles to Fiji, so that Angela may fulfill her sacred mission beyond this island. Though the idea sounds mad, Angela quietly admits she would love to try it. And so, the two strangers-turned-companions agree to attempt the impossible voyage. Allison sets to work, reinforcing his makeshift raft. Angela, with delicate hands, weaves sails from natural fibers, her quiet diligence a mirror to his focus. As they labor side by side, stories begin to flow. Allison, still unable to reconcile her beauty with her vocation, asks why a young woman like her would choose to become a nun. In his mind, nuns are gray-haired, cloaked in age, not youth and radiance. Angela answers with gentle certainty. Her calling brings her joy, just as Allison's dream of becoming a Marine fills his heart with purpose. But peace is brief. A shadow passes overhead. The sharp drone of a Japanese reconnaissance plane slices through the sky, making their hearts pound. Allison is certain. The island has been spotted. The enemy will return. That night, he leads Angela to the hidden cave he'd once discovered. They take shelter beneath the Earth's bones, listening as the island trembles under a fresh assault. Japanese bombers scream above, unleashing destruction from the skies. Angela clutches herself in fear, but Allison murmurs reassurance, telling her it's only sound, not steel. When the bombs cease, Allison ventures out into the broken light. The devastation is complete. The church is gone, the food stores scorched, and their fragile raft reduced to wreckage. His hope collapses. Now, they can only pray for an American rescue. Soon after, Japanese ships appear on the horizon. A battalion disembarks, boots landing hard on Tuasaiva's soil. The island is no longer a sanctuary. Allison and Angela retreat to the cave, hearts pounding. Silence, their only defense. They remain motionless as soldiers sweep across the terrain, footsteps drawing dangerously close to their refuge. Yet luck, for now, holds. Convinced the island is deserted, the soldiers withdraw. Angela, stirred by desperation, offers a perilous idea: to surrender herself in hopes the Japanese would show mercy to a nun. But Allison is appalled. He forbids it. He fears they would harm her, and he will not allow that. Instead, he vows to find food. Slipping from the cave, he searches the shallows for fish. Just as he catches one, 3 Japanese soldiers appear nearby. He ducks behind a rock, barely breathing, letting the tide conceal him. The waves hide him well. He returns with the raw fish, and they try to eat together. But Angela recoils, apologizing. Her stomach turns at the taste. Concerned for her health, Allison makes a dangerous decision: to steal from the enemy's stores. Under cover of darkness, he sneaks through the camp, slipping past watchful guards. He reaches the warehouse, fills his bag with food, and prepares to flee. But footsteps approach. Soldiers enter. Allison flattens himself in the shadows, holding his breath as a rat scurries across him. He dares not move. Time stretches endlessly. He remains trapped until morning light. At last, a whistle sounds. A Japanese officer summons all soldiers to formation in the field. The warehouse empties. Seizing the moment, Allison escapes, heart racing, breath shallow, but hands full of food and hope. Allison finally returns to the cave, arms full of food for Angela. But instead of joy, he's met with quiet dismay. Angela is upset that he didn't inform her before leaving, and had gone for so long. She thought they had killed him. The worry etched on her face stirs something unfamiliar in him. A warmth, a stirring tenderness. For the first time, Allison feels what it's like to be truly cared for. And something deeper begins to take root. He's beginning to fall for her. The next day, Angela discovers a delicate surprise: a flower and a handmade comb, lovingly crafted by Allison. She accepts the gift with a soft smile, then gently explains that she had her hair cut short when she took her first vows, a symbol of her sacred commitment. Curious, Allison asks if a nun can ever walk away from her vows and return to ordinary life. Angela answers with honesty: after 5 years of temporary vows, a woman can either renew her commitment or walk away. Her final, lifelong vows are only a month away. This news stirs hope in Allison. Angela isn't bound forever. Not yet. Their moment is interrupted by a distant rumble, an explosion from beyond the trees. A battle rages in the Pacific. Allison listens intently, praying the Americans will win and force the Japanese to retreat from the island. His hopes are answered. The next day, Allison ventures from the cave and finds the island still and empty. The Japanese have gone. Joy blooms. He and Angela emerge from hiding, basking in open air and freedom. The invaders have even left behind supplies, food, gear, and a strange calm. For the first time, they walk without fear. That evening, stories once more fill the silence. Angela wonders aloud how a man like Allison, so brave, so rugged, remains unmarried. Allison seizes the moment, his heart bare. He confesses his love for her, a love deeper than anything he's ever known. After all they've endured, he longs to marry her. He begs her not to take her final vows. But Angela gently refuses. Her first vows were a sacred engagement. Her final vows would be her wedding. A bride of God. Allison's face falls. The air thickens with unspoken longing. Without another word, he leaves her side. The next day, he returns to her quietly, the weight of yesterday still in his voice. He apologizes for asking her to abandon her calling. He asks her to forget his words. He understands now, he too is wed. Not to a woman, but to the Marine Corps. Both have made solemn vows. That evening, Angela finds a bottle tucked inside a sack of rice and offers it to Allison. A sip reveals it to be Japanese wine. Allison drinks. And drinks again. The wine dulls his senses and loosens his tongue. Angela urges him to stop, reminding him that he hasn't eaten. But he refuses, and the alcohol begins to twist his words. In his drunkenness, he speaks cruelly, wondering aloud why a woman so beautiful would ever want to become a nun, mocking the image he had of nuns as old, withered, unwanted. Angela, steady in grace, tries to change the subject. She invites him to play Japanese chess, to bring calm back to their evening. But Allison is lost in the fog of drink and doesn't stop. He mutters that they are like Adam and Eve, alone on a deserted Eden, left behind by the world, condemned to live together for years with no rescue in sight. The harshness of Allison's words breaks Angela's spirit. Tears spill down her cheeks, and fear takes hold. Allison, struck by remorse, tries to console her, but his presence only deepens her fright. Without another word, Angela flees into the rain-drenched jungle, vanishing into the storm. By morning, Allison finds her at last, collapsed and burning with fever. He gathers her in his arms and brings her back, seeking shelter once more in the safety of the cave. But their sanctuary grows perilous again, as Japanese troops unexpectedly return to the island. The pair hasn't had time to gather provisions, and now survival becomes even more uncertain. Allison lays his clothes over Angela's trembling body, her fever worsening, her breaths shallow, her voice a trail of delirious murmurs. Desperation drives him to a perilous resolve. Though he knows it may cost him his life, he decides to sneak into the Japanese encampment and steal blankets to keep her warm. At first, the mission goes smoothly. The soldiers are busy drilling on the field. But then fate intervenes. One soldier enters the tent and discovers Allison. The alarm nearly sounds, but the soldier's cries are lost in the training commotion outside. Allison acts swiftly, silently. He takes the soldier's life with his dagger and casts the body into the sea. Back in the cave, he wraps the blankets around Angela, but her drenched clothes are a threat to her fragile condition. With great care and reverence, Allison removes them to save her from the cold. By the next day, Angela wakes. Disoriented at first, she's startled to find herself partially unclothed. Allison quickly explains everything: his desperate attempts to keep her warm, his regret for the words that sent her into the jungle, and the dangers he faced for her sake. Angela listens, her eyes softening. She thanks him, moved by his selflessness. She knows in her heart that Allison is a man of honor, one who would never take advantage of her vulnerability. Gently, she reveals that she fled not out of fear of him, but of what he said, that they might never leave the island. That hopeless thought was more frightening than anything else. But their quiet moment is broken again. The Japanese have discovered the body Allison left behind. They set fire to the jungle, hoping smoke and flame will expose the hidden intruder. The heat draws closer, and Allison stays still, clutching his knife, ready. One soldier nears the cave's mouth. Allison hears him call for a grenade to flush out the enemy. Then, the sky splits open. An American airstrike. Explosions tear across the island, scattering the Japanese troops. Allison, overwhelmed with hope, calls Angela to watch. Watch as salvation rains from the sky and American bombers dismantle their oppressors. The battle stretches through the night. They remain hidden in the cave, waiting. But Allison knows the fight is not yet won. The American ships cannot land while 4 Japanese artillery guns remain active. Quietly, he slips from the cave, determined to finish the job. One by one, he disables the artillery, navigating smoke, fire, and shrapnel. He succeeds, but not without injury. A blast catches him, leaving him wounded. With dawn, The American ships finally arrive. Troops land on WWII's shores, securing the island. Back in the cave, Angela tends to Allison's wounds. They say little, but everything is understood. This is their goodbye. Though they cannot stay together, Allison expresses his gratitude for her kindness, her strength, her grace. He wishes her happiness, wherever her path leads. Angela, her voice trembling with emotion, assures him she will never forget the man who protected her, respected her, and never once dishonored her. A true man in every sense. Moments later, American soldiers reach them. Allison is lifted onto a stretcher, carried away to safety. After weeks of peril and perseverance, they are finally rescued. Two souls forever changed by a war, an island, and a bond neither of them will ever forget. And with that, the movie ends. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this.